Wow, what a mess. This thing is sludgy. Well, alright, we're at 125 with our new Pushrod. And if you're curious, it's a milling MPR 274. And then here's our old one. It's not too bad. I mean, you can see a little bit of a crook in it, but from what it was to what it is, not that bad. And I did check, they're the same length. Didn't check one with the micrometer or anything, but just held them up to each other. They seem the same. So I'm gonna take some time and clean up valve cover gasket area. I decided not to paint the valve covers, at least for now. I'm gonna glue the gaskets to the valve covers, the rubber gaskets. If I need to pull them back off, I can. If I end up wanting to paint it, but for now, I just cleaned them up and gonna put them back on. Just couldn't leave it alone. Couldn't leave it alone. Did a quick scrape through on the valve cover, or inside of the valve cover. I did clean up the inside of the valve covers themselves, but this is kind of what we're at. I'm not trying to get it, I'm just trying to get I was trying to just get the big stuff out. Maybe the little stuff will go away after some oil changes, but just kind of scraped it out, scraped around, scraped the big chunks, and we're gonna take the shop vac and vacuum all out, and then I'll take a paper towel with brake cleaner and just kind of wipe all around and get any of the other pieces wiped up with a paper towel. I'm just trying to keep it from going down in the oil pan. You know, to be honest, this is just from my own sanity, I guess, doing this. It's not really gonna make a difference. I'm sure under the intake is this bad or worse, so it is what it is, but I just couldn't just not do something about it. So yeah, here we are. So I'm gonna get the shop vac, vacuum all this stuff up. I'm gonna take the scrape off the gasket off the other side first, actually, and then I'll vacuum this side, vacuum the other side, and then we'll be ready to put the valve covers on. I did not paint the valve covers, I just left them as is, but like I said, I did clean the inside of them. So this is what we've got. It's just gross. So I can get this gasket off, vacuum this stuff out. The other side I raked out a bunch of this stuff. I was just trying to scrape it and rake it out. I quickly realized that it was going to require the shop vac to get it to an acceptable cleanliness. So this side I didn't really try to rake it out, I just scraped. But like I said, not trying to get it spick and span, just the big chunks, the big deposits taken away. I'm gonna wipe it down one more time, but that's what we ended up with. The bulk majority of the caked on stuff is gone. Now it's just kind of like, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's there. Vacuum got most of it, and then like I said, I took a rag with brake cleaner and wiped anywhere I could kind of get it in. And I think I'm gonna do that one more time down at the bottom and just really get that bottom area where the oil goes clean. that brake cleaner pretty much gets it back down to, you know, cast iron, or brake cleaner on a rag. I don't want to spray it with brake cleaner because I don't want it going down and dissolving stuff further down and we start sludging up the oil pickup or something like that. And that's what we end up with. Just better. So that's, I can kind of live with that. So we're gonna let it be and do some frequent oil changes with probably Marvel Mr. Oil in every one of them, and maybe we will slowly take care of that. So unfortunately this cylinder still is at 40. Our other one over there came up to 120. So this one, you know, there's no bent push rod or anything on this one. We're just gonna let it run, and after it runs a little bit, we'll see if this comes up. That's about all we can do with it. I may pull the valve cover back off again and look at it, but for now, you know, we did investigate it. There was no push rod off or anything. Everything was moving like it was supposed to, so it's probably a valve not sealing well, and I think maybe after it runs a little bit, that may come up. The engine's cold right now. We've got all the plugs in it, so the number's gonna be lower than it was before. I think it was 50 before, so I'd say it's about the same as it was before. You know, engine's just not turning over as fast with the plugs in it. And my battery was down a little bit, so I got the charger on it now. But yeah, it's as good as we're getting. We're just gonna let it be as it is for now, and we're gonna get the cooling system together on this thing. That way we can let it run, and maybe after 20 minutes of running or so, we'll check it again and maybe the numbers have come up. This is why I don't like vinyl tops. It doesn't look too bad, but it definitely, you know, if this would have been left untreated, this would have gotten very serious very fast. Now, we're gonna see what it looks like under here. I'm just trying to get some of this stuff off. If you look under here, you know, it's in nice shape, but there's gonna be areas of this thing that are not gonna be nice. So we're just gonna have to, it is what it is, and we'll see what we can do with it. But I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna do. If I, you know, just take this trim off and then just paint the top. You know, my research looks like everything is the same for vinyl top, no vinyl top, except for these. I'm pretty sure I saw where these are slightly different for a non-vinyl top. I don't know what it would look like if there's just a gap here when you don't have a vinyl top, like with these. So that's kind of some concern there. But as far as the rest of the trim, I think, you know, this is all the same, just no vinyl top. It doesn't have this transition trim, so this would need to come off unless we decided to use this as a trim between colors, you know, make the top a different color. I don't know, but I'm gonna go through and try to get the rest of the top off, and at least that top part doesn't appear to be blue. You know, I don't know where they stopped the blue paint. You know, this is blue, but I'm guessing up in here somewhere they stopped the blue. It transitions just to a thin coat of black paint. You know, we've got blue, we've got some body filler, looks like right here, you know, probably where the top comes on. And some rust probably around this body filler that we're gonna have to address. Yeah, even though this top was probably in good shape before it was stored, you know, it leaked some and, you know, caused stuff like this. This is definitely not bad for vinyl. I mean, it's not good, but this is in good shape from some of the other ones I've seen. You know, you can see right in there, you know, some stuff you would have to Bondo over, you know, just some transition pieces, and if you were going to paint it. So, and you can see over here we were close to getting rust. So I don't know, this window would have to come out to do this right. We'll see, I guess. But we're at least getting the top off to stop stuff like this, and then we'll treat it, you know, kill any of this rust, and then, you know, do body filler where we need to. I don't think it's bad enough that we're gonna have to replace any metal anywhere, though. I think it's good enough just to treat, you know, maybe grind the majority of the rust out, then treat it. Trying to see where the color transition is. Looks like it. We got a big body filler. Yeah, here's the body filler line. Let's see, we got a crack in the body filler. So we go from this piece to the top with body filler. So blue, black, just skim a coat of Bondo over it. Same thing over here. See where the Bondo's cracked. So we would need to probably ground this out, re-Bondo it, take the trim off. So it's gonna be quite a bit of work. No matter what we do, this doesn't feel good in here. This feels like rust. You can see a little, maybe an entry point right there for water. I have a feeling we're gonna find some nastiness in this little section right here. And hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, look at this. It's no holes yet, but this would have to be treated and killed, and probably some, yeah. Yep. Ooh. Yeah, we got Bondo right here. Transition. It's where that Bondo is where they like to rust. That Bondo attracts water, holds in moisture. All right, so that's gonna have to be addressed. Let's look at the other side. Figure I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm getting my blade in as close as I can to everything. Yeah. Same thing over here, not to the same level, but the body filler. That's what we're gonna find. Probably everywhere there's body filler, we're gonna find rust. Just holds that moisture in. So this will need to get ground out. I'm gonna take the trim out, probably take the windshield out. Windshield's cracked anyway, but take all that out, grind out this back to bare, clean metal, and then put some filler back over it, and then a couple good coats of paint. That's the problem. Most of this is either not much paint, you know, a real thin coat of paint, or some places they may not have even put any paint over the filler, and so that's just setting yourself up for failure. Bare Bondo, you know, no wonder it rusted. This is just, I feel like vinyl tops were a cheap way to, or a cheaper way to make cars. You can cut corners on your top. Doesn't matter if it's completely smooth or if you paint it all, vinyl top will cover it. So down here, probably was leaking up here somewhere, running down and getting trapped in this lower area. It's pretty rough. So yeah, all the trim's gonna have to come off at some point. We're not doing that now. I just wanted to get the top off, get it. Once we get this fuzzy stuff off, I'll probably try to treat any rust areas just with some rust treatment, just to keep it from getting worse. But that's not going to be the end of it. We're gonna have to do some cleanup and get this thing kill this rust. I mean, this is by far worst rust in the car. Oh, today is a good day. When you're working on a project and you get one of these RockAuto boxes, man, it's like Christmas. So, I don't buy a whole lot of stuff on RockAuto just because shipping normally makes their deals not as good. But something like this car is kind of in that area where it seems like parts stores are clearing out. You can get a lot of this stuff, you know, where they mark it as clearance or whatever, wholesale or clear out or whatever they mark it, and you can get a lot of stuff like that, like belts for, you know, a couple bucks. But exhaust manifold gaskets for like $3. I mean, just cheap stuff. So I've said it before. What I do is I'll put like 3 or 4 brand belts in my cart and all this other stuff, hoses and stuff like that, and I try to consolidate the shipping to bring the price down. And then I have to factor in, okay, well, this belt is $3 more than this belt, but I gotta pay $10 shipping. So, you know, it's worth it to buy the $3 more belt, and you can save, you know, $7 on shipping. You know, the difference in shipping makes up for the more expensive belt. So it's kind of a dance when I shop RockAuto. It takes a while, but I eventually end up checking out, and this is what I end up with. So I don't remember how much everything was. I remember the belts were pretty cheap, and I think I'm like a thermostat gasket, I think it was like 36 cents or something. I mean, it was like almost nothing. Water pump, rebuilt, car done. Water pump was on clearance or clear out or whatever for $9.99. $10 rebuilt water pump. I mean, that's crazy. These belts were a couple bucks. I think these were clearance. I think they were like $3. I paid more for whatever this belt is. I don't remember. I think this is alternator belt. I don't remember how much it was, but it was definitely a whole lot cheaper. That's one other thing is you just kind of have to search around. You know, some of the parts, you know, like if you get a belt for $3, you're not going to find it, a quality belt, that cheap in the store, so you might as well get it. But some things, you know, you can shop around to make sure. I've got exhaust manifold gaskets, which I'm wondering if they're like Chevys and they never ran exhaust manifold gaskets, because also what I ended up getting, these are the heat shields, and I'm kind of thinking the heat shields are the gaskets, you know, from the factory. So I ordered a new set of heat shields because I figure if mine are leaking as bad as they are, and the heat shields are used as the gaskets, the heat shields are probably blown out. These were not very much. The gaskets themselves, those I think were $3, and these may have been $14, I don't remember. But it kind of looks like a gasket to me, like you run these without a gasket. But I got those just in case. Y'all let me know. I'm not real familiar, like I said, with Fords, so if y'all know anything about that, but I'm gonna guess that from the factory it ran these with no gasket, and we'll probably just check, see how flat our manifolds are, and if we can get by with just running the heat shields, we probably will. But if there's an issue with, you know, they look to be warped, we'll throw the gaskets in there as well. I went ahead and ordered a fuel pump. I think it was $10. I think it was another one of those clearance deals. I don't know if we need one or not, but again, if I have to buy it local or pay shipping again, I'm going to pay more for it. So I went ahead and ordered it. I don't really trust the one that's on it anyway. You know, the ethanol fuel and an old diaphragm are not going to mix well. It's not pumping right now, but there may not be anything in the tank, so I called it dead. Whether it is or not, we're not sure, but we're gonna go with it. It's guaranteed for 100 years. Carb kit, knew we needed that. Hoses, miscellaneous, what I could find that wasn't, you know, just a universal stuff. Like this is one of the coolant hoses somewhere. The rest of it I think is universal. Quality, made in Canada, cap, distributor cap. And then I've got a Motorcraft rotor that I think was made in Mexico. I don't remember. Yeah, made in Mexico rotor. Fail-safe thermostat. I like these. I like these and the Stance Super Stats. That's kind of my go-to. Either one of those. Made in Israel. They seem to be good quality. I haven't really had an issue with them. And like I said, or I didn't say, but you can see on there they're the fail-safe ones. This was a fuel filter, one that screws into the carburetor. PCV valve. Like I said, all this stuff was like $2 or $3, you know, for a PCV valve, stuff like that. I went ahead and ordered, I think this was less than $10 for a transmission pan gasket and filter kit. Pan gasket's leaking, so we just needed to do that. Air filter, Baldwin air filter, that one was a couple bucks. Cheaper than buying anything else in the store. Can't even get a Fram for the price for what I paid for this one. So all that stuff, I think I went through everything. In here, this is stuff from Amazon. I needed some spade connectors, so that's what that is. But just a vacuum line, a bunch of fuel hose assortments. I kind of just needed to replenish my stock. We got 3 different size fuel lines. I keep all this stuff in stock normally, but I'm kind of low. Vacuum caps. This is a 5-pack of just cheap fuel filters. I'm going to run these between the tank, or right after the tank. And I just grabbed a 5-pack. We don't know what the tank's like, but we'll be able to see it. And we're not going to burn through a bunch of those little bitty fuel filters that's on the carburetor. So this will be a pre-filter to that one. And, you know, if the tank's too bad, we may have to replace the tank, but we're going to see about that. And then I ordered just a this was cheapest electric fuel pump I could find. And what we're going to do on this is we're going to pump some out of the tank. Just hook this up in the back. I didn't have one, but I've been wanting to have one just to use it as needed. You know, if I need to run this thing off electric fuel pump in a jerry can or something, I can do that. Just kind of wanted something like, and then if I want to, you know, try to pull gas from the tank and, you know, pump out what's in the tank, and so I can dispose of it, we can do that. You know, just whatever. It was like $10. So that's it. That should get us pretty far down the line with this thing. It's mostly what we would need to kind of get this thing back on the road if we wanted to. We'll probably have to do something to address the radiator. I have a feeling it's going to leak. I can get a aluminum radiator for it for like $200. So we may end up going that route. I don't know. I don't think I could have this one redone cheaper than that. It looks like it's probably going to end up being leaking. You can kind of look in here, this corrosion in here. That's not a good sign. We'll see. It doesn't look that great when you look inside of it. So again, like I said, on these heat shields, you can see it looks like a gap right there. I'm sure that's probably where the heat shield has blown out. And I don't even see it. You know, it's not even there over right there. You can see it there in the back, but it's missing here. It's missing here. So I think that's probably part of our exhaust leak. It's just that heat shield's blown out. You can see it looks much better on this side. But I really think that they don't run a gasket, that the heat shield itself is the gasket.